The next generation of great talk radio, the undisputed leader of the new school. So welcome to the Wilkow Majority. I'm Andrew Wilkow. Well, maybe it is time to say to the 47 million uninsured, drop dead. Maybe it's about that time. Because poor people have been telling the taxpayer to drop dead for the better part of 50 years. You know what's fascinating is to watch the federal government grow the number of people who are the reason why we need to give ever more of our hard-earned income to the federal government to give away to other people. And not just once in my life, I would like to hear a poor person say, thank you, taxpayer. Thank you for being bled to make this the greatest country that I could ever live in without ever contributing anything. You look at poverty in America, and it's a fascinating thing. It's still there. Why is that? Because poor people keep breeding. They squeeze out litter after litter after litter and line the toilet with an ever-growing number of toilet bugs going, feed me, feed me, human rights, civil rights, I have the right, gimme, 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 gimme. And they elect people from their districts who go to Washington and go, feed my district, more money, more money. So we're seeing poverty is something that could cease to exist if poor people just stopped breeding. If they stopped bringing in little poor people to the world who grow up to be poor people and make more poor people. Now, I understand when you've got nothing to do all day, your body can be a source of recreation. I mean, really, if you look at the birth rates of some of the most productive people, stress plays a factor into the ability to conceive. If you're laying around with nothing to do all day, hey, push them out, squeeze them out, pop them out. So, if you need if you need a conservative, those of you on the left that tape this program, you've been looking for someone to say it. So Andrew Wilkow will say it. It's time we tell the 47 million uninsured to drop dead. Did you want to hear it that way? Because never once has a poor person ever been concerned about the taxpayer. We're always being, you've got to have compassion, Andrew. You've got to have a heart. You've got to have humanity. Well, if you and I are going out into the workplace every day to labor, whatever that labor may be, whether it be ditch digging or brain surgery, you are doing something that is bringing to you an income. To have a portion of that income taken from you, not for constitutionally prescribed practices, spending, enumerated powers of the Congress to spend, like to raise an army and navy, to provide for post roads, to constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court, to define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas and offenses against, all that good stuff. The federal government is taking money out of your hand and putting it into the hand of someone who didn't earn it, and never once saying to that person, you should be thankful, you should be appreciative, you should be trying to be less of a burden. No, you, the taxpayer, can go to hell. You, the taxpayer, can drop dead. You, the taxpayer, it's an amazing thing. Now, you put this through the prism of healthcare, and you're basically seeing no distinction between productive and unproductive people. That if productive people die at the hands of unproductive people, meaning being crowded out in the system, we see nothing wrong with that. If you have someone that's hardworking, who's productive, who's contributing to government and society, and that person dies on a waiting list because a homeless alcoholic got diabetes, well, that's just, it's not even person A and person B. And if somebody who has lived their whole life in this country, born and raised in this country, or legally immigrated to this country, and contributed to this country. Well, who the hell cares if they are pushed out of line by someone who's here illegally? I'm at the point now where I don't know that I care about whatever labels I'll be saddled with, because right now, liberals, Democrats, and left-wing activists are in a state of panic with this. The poll numbers are dropping, and they're blaming it on conservative-minded talk radio. And they're doing everything in their power to sway people from listening to conservative-minded talk radio by claiming that conservative-minded talk radio is racist, it's homophobic, it's xenophobic, it's nationalist, and anyone who listens to this is like anyone who went to the Tea Party's racist rednecks. So people go, well, I don't want to be that. I won't listen to these programs. So I'm at the point now where I don't give a damn what liberals call this program. If you need a conservative to say to the 47 million uninsured, drop dead, I'll say it. You can quote Andrew Wilkow. Because you know what? The taxpayer has been told to drop dead for how long? There's not even a thank you for the people that provide the federal government the money it uses to get itself reelected, to build its pyramids of obedience, to hand out money in contracts and in earmarks to build loyalty. The people that actually pay the bills of the federal government are the people the federal government hate the most. Who the hell do you think you are? You think you're something special because you pay taxes? You think you're something special because you provide us the revenue that we use to create programs to generate more votes so we can get elected? You think there's something special about you because you've built a business while raising a family, held down a career, contributed to society, created jobs? You think there's something special about you? Who the blank do you think you are? It's not only people without this, that, or the other thing are told they're entitled to it. The government now believes it's entitled to take it from you to give to them. So you're not owed a thank you. In the minds of people who've been sitting in Congress and the Senate for a generation, they've forgotten that relationship with the taxpayer. You're just supposed to pay taxes. You're just supposed to give the government more money. You're supposed to do what it is you do for a living, not to provide for yourself and your family, but to put through the cotton candy machine of the federal government to be twirled around a cardboard cone and handed out to persons of their choosing. So, you know, if you need someone to say it, I'll say it. Drop dead. You don't care if I drop dead. You don't care what it is that we do that feeds your family, that clothes your family, that houses your family, that provides your family health care when you don't do anything. You listen to Democrats talk about how hard it is to raise a family when you're low income. Well, then don't have a family. I'm past the labels. If you can't afford to have children, then don't have them. If you are having children, the assumption is that you can take care of them, that you are a responsible adult. There's nothing more sickening than somebody on a social program that tries to act like a badass. Oh, yeah, big tough guy. Oh, yeah. Look at you. Sitting with your hand out. Can't take care of your kids. Yeah, you're a real man. Real man takes care of his kids. A real man doesn't tell everyone how tough he is and then puts his hand out to the federal government. Now, there are, of course, people who have stories that are otherwise the exception to the rule. I'm not talking about the exception to the rule. I'm not talking about people who've had a downturn who need a helping hand for the time being. People who have fallen on tough times, who are trying their best to not be a burden to others. I'm talking about this license being written by the Democratic Party to assume that because you exist, your existence creates debt for other people, because somehow their existence is not equal.